What's up, everybody? It is currently Sunday, January 11th. Good evening, friends, by the way. And today we're going to be diving into the upcoming weather patterns to see what the weather has in store for us. Over Canada, you could see we have with all that ridging and stuff, you're going to see some warmer air. And then it kind of all of a sudden folds back and reveals what it's been hiding for all of this time, some Arctic air, which then intensifies over Florida, and then some more Arctic air moving in over the northeast. So, while the west is going to be dealing with some go lay down in the sun beach conditions, the beachgoers are sure going to be happy about this. Not literally. By warm air, I'm not talking about 90 degrees out. I'm talking like maybe, in some spots, 20 degrees above average. So get ready for that. That could bring temperatures even up into the 60s. Looking at the 2-meter temperature anomaly in Fahrenheit, you could see even in the Sierras, you're going to have, 60 to 70 degrees. Man, go lay down on the beach, guys. Go set up the pool in January. That'll be a first. But if we go back, you could see some colder air up in the Pacific Northwest, Rockies, Northeast. We've got our snow line crashing down over the Great Lakes. That would be favorable for some snow. And as we finish off here on January 17th, we can see some green starting to show up in Minnesota. That's going to be favorable for some snowstorms, so get ready for that. Looking at our precipitation total in inches, you could see on today we have tons of precipitation in the Pacific Northwest and Vancouver Island, and also southwestern BC, Canada. You could see that's nothing out of the ordinary. They generally average quite high, being in the blunt of all atmospheric rivers. And then you could see down south, you could see that precipitation building up on the Gulf Coast of the southeastern United States, like I've already said. So what does that mean for snow? You could see there is plenty of snow for the mountains out west. A little bit of a snow drought in the east, but still the mountains out west are going to have some good snow. Ski resorts like Telluride should be opening up soon. Let's hope that the snowpack isn't completely demolished, although it looks like it's headed that way. And speaking of snowpacks getting demolished, I have bad news. La Nina is dying. La Nina is dying. It's on his last legs, but that still doesn't mean that we can't have snow. Look at that. Looking at our extended model, we're seeing even more snow. This is very far out into the future, so we don't know this for sure, but the models have been looking pretty promising lately. Looking at February 26th, 2026, you could see absolutely plenty of snow for Maine, and not to mention the mountains out west, and even in the lowlands like Seattle, 7 inches for them, which might sound not like a lot, but it would actually paralyze Seattle because, 1, Seattle's not used to snow because it's right at sea level, and 2, it's also just because it's right on the coast of an actual ocean, or I guess an estuary where the rivers meet the ocean and then the ocean kind of comes up and around to there. Well, it's still an ocean, okay? And the Cascades kind of slope up like that. There's a lot of hills in Seattle, so that would be very treacherous for anyone trying to get to work. And not to mention, if the water turns to ice, the ferries are going to have some trouble getting to like Bainbridge Island or something. Looking at our control model is showing even more snow. It's showing 16 to 32 inches of snow for even the lowlands, 48 inches plus for the Cascades where I live. We've got plenty of snow for Maine. We've got plenty of snow for Oregon, plenty of snow for the mountains out west in general, and tons of snow for let's go to the northern hemisphere. You could see Greenland is just going to get demolished. Look at all that snow, man. It's crazy, especially on the coast. Now, what's crazy is that's like 48 inches plus of snow on the water, which is absolutely incredible. That is crazy. I mean, looking at our other model, let's go to the Northern Hemisphere. You can see Greenland is not having as much snow as you might expect. Not centimeters, stupid me, inches. And let's go back to the United States. Here we are on the control model. You can see tons of snow, so get excited for this. If you had to ask one person, do I throw my sled in the garbage? No, do not throw your sled in the garbage. I would say even keep it by the door because the snow's coming. Look at this. One last thing before I go is the 500 millibart height dam in Anomaly M. You can see this giant ridge of high pressure across the west, while a strong trough in the northeastern United States would be favorable for some snow and cooler temperatures. While we have this ridge of high pressure going on in the west, it's going to be go lay down on the beach while it's 90 degrees kind of weather. Not actually 90 degrees, but it's going to feel a lot warmer than normal. I can guarantee you that. As we scroll on, you can see this ridge go west and then really start to flex its muscles while we have a very strong trough going towards Maine and Canada and Greenland, which is going to be also flexing its muscles at the exact same time. As we scroll on, we can see this ridge of high pressure immediately racing like an F1 car towards Alaska and Russia. Now, as we scroll on, you can see this ridge just barely nicking Washington, northern Idaho, and northwestern Montana. And there is also another trough right here headed for the United States, possibly for the west. So it might be the west's turn to gain some colder air. That's going to be one of the things that I'm going to be tracking. So I will be seeing you again on Saturday, January something. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, actually, I'll see you next Saturday. The reason I'm not uploading videos during the week is because I figured, based on how many views I'm getting, and no, I'm not trying to be greedy, everybody. I feel like a lot of people are working, and I don't want to have to be worrying about people trying to watch my videos while they're stuck in rush hour traffic or anything like that. So from now on, I'm mainly going to be uploading on the weekends, but I will probably make some posts if I see some cool weather coming up. So make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share my video to friends and family, and I will see you again in the next one. Goodbye!